Between 1989 and 2001, millions of people across the United States played the McDonald's Monopoly game, buying meals, peeling off stickers, and hoping they might be the next lucky winner. But what they didn't realize was that the biggest prizes were never truly random, because behind the scenes, someone had already figured out how to control who won. And for years, no one noticed that the entire game had quietly been rigged from the inside. The man behind it was Jerry Jacobson, a former police officer who later worked for the company responsible for managing the promotion. And while his job seemed ordinary on the surface, it gave him something extremely valuable: direct access to the rare winning game pieces that were supposed to be randomly distributed across the country. And once he realized how much control he actually had, he began to see the system very differently. The McDonald's Monopoly promotion was designed to drive sales, with millions of customers collecting pieces and trying to complete winning combinations. But the truth was that only a handful of high-value pieces actually existed, and those pieces were carefully handled before being released, which meant that if someone intercepted them early, they could control the outcome of the entire game without ever touching a single restaurant. Jerry didn't break into the system, he didn't hack anything, and he didn't need advanced technology, because the opportunity was already there, hidden inside his role. And once he understood that no one was closely monitoring how the winning pieces were distributed, he started quietly removing them from circulation, keeping them for himself instead of letting them reach the public. But claiming the prizes himself would have immediately raised suspicion, so instead Jerry created a different strategy. He began recruiting people to act as winners, handing them the rare pieces and instructing them to claim the prizes publicly. And in return, they would share the money with him, making the entire operation look legitimate from the outside. At first, the scheme was small and carefully controlled, involving only a few trusted individuals. But as time passed, it expanded into a network, with more people being recruited and more prizes being claimed. And because the winners appeared to be ordinary individuals from different places, there was no obvious pattern that would immediately trigger suspicion. Jerry became methodical in how he distributed the winning pieces, making sure that the winners were spread across different regions and backgrounds, avoiding any direct connections between them, and maintaining the illusion that everything was random, even though the outcomes were being carefully controlled behind the scenes. Over time, the operation generated millions of dollars, with large prizes being claimed again and again. And while the public continued to participate in the game, believing they had a fair chance of winning, the reality was that the most valuable prizes had already been decided long before they ever opened their food. The scheme might have continued even longer if it weren't for small inconsistencies that began to surface. Because when investigators started reviewing the winners, they noticed unusual patterns, connections between individuals that shouldn't exist in a truly random system. And once those questions were raised, the entire operation started to come under scrutiny. The FBI eventually launched an investigation, analyzing the distribution of prizes and tracking the individuals who had claimed them. And as they followed the trail, they uncovered a network of participants who had all been connected through Jerry, revealing that the game had been manipulated for years without detection. What made the case so unusual was that there was no hacking involved, no external breach, and no forced entry into the system, because everything had been done from within, using legitimate access and simple manipulation of a process that was never designed to be questioned. In 2001, the scheme finally came to an end when multiple individuals were arrested, including Jerry Jacobson himself. And what had once appeared to be a harmless promotional game quickly became one of the largest fraud cases linked to a fast food campaign. The investigation revealed that millions of dollars had been fraudulently claimed over the years, and while many participants faced legal consequences, the case also exposed a major vulnerability in how large promotional systems were managed, showing how easily they could be exploited from the inside. And for more than a decade, while millions of people believed they were playing a game of chance, the winners had already been chosen.